we talked a little bit about it last game, but the end of game ball movement, I think one assist in the final 7-15 or whatever it was. How do you try to get more ball movement just in those kind of end of game situations like that? Or what's the key to it, I should say?
Yeah, I think it's just execution. Big picture, it's just execution. I think in that first quarter, I think we had 13 assists. Our ball movement in general was one of our poorer stretches probably in the last month. That last 3 quarters of basketball. So including the final 6-7 minutes. So it's just trusting each other, spacing. Not feeling like you got to go do it all by yourself. It's just trusting the system, trusting the spacing, making the right play. And I think we've gotten better in that area. Obviously, we weren't great. Their pressure picked up as well. So, but I think we've seen a lot of growth in those areas. Now we just got to come back and respond to it and be better tonight.
Just kind of adding on that, I know you've talked about the turnovers a lot. Is the most frustrating part just a lot of it is basic stuff? Stepping out of bounds and
self-inflicted.
Yeah.
I don't. Very few of those. I think Utah had a little bit to do with it. Their pressure. They were handsy. They were aggressive. So out of those 2 games, there was a little bit of our opponent doing it. The Lakers got us a few times on strips and hands, and LeBron got us a few times smart as well. But the self-inflicted ones where we got advantage going the other way off a stop and we turn it over, throw it away, throw it to them, step out of bounds. Those are the ones you got to eliminate, So our goal is 12 or less. We had been one of the best teams, over the last, really since the beginning of the year, not turning it over. So we got to get back to that standard again tonight.
You nearly overlapped coaching DeMar DeRozan when you were in San Antonio. You went to the Spurs the year after you left. And just to see how his career has continued. Is he one of the great underrated players in this league?
What he's done is just spectacular. The scoring ability to do it for this long, multiple teams, night in and night out. He's at the top of the scouting report every night. Everybody knows what he's going to do, who he is, and he still finds a way to be efficient, to score, to help his team. And one of the great stories in our league, since my time in the NBA, it's a credit to him, his work ethic, and his drive to really maximize his greatness, and he's done that. So congrats to him. I don't know exactly where he ranks on the scoring list, but I'm sure he's moving up the ranks, and he deserves all the credit in the world.
Hey, Coach, how would you describe a young Malik Monk back in Charlotte when you coached him?
Savvy, talented, aggressive. He had a will about him, though. He had a will about him, a swagger about him. He believed in himself. He knew he was going to have an impact, at some level in this league. He just knew it. He believed in himself more than anybody. And, that team, there was a lot going on, in the midst of that. But I think to his credit, he has stayed the course. He has gotten better every year. I think getting around the veterans in L.A., I think from afar, I don't know this, but from afar, I think had a massive impact on him. Just being around professionals and guys that took winning seriously, that valued winning, to be around that type of environment only is going to, push you forward. So that was a huge moment for him, a big move for him, and he's made the most of it, So, but he was always talented. He could score the ball. He could play-make. His playmaking has something that has really grown over the last couple of years as well, even since we had him in Charlotte. But a dynamic young man and a special player.
When you take over as coach in season, how long does it take you a coach, I guess, to put his stamp on, or do you let it ride out, and how do you
I'm still trying. I'm still trying, I mean, you take over midseason, we're a work in progress, you don't have a summer, you don't have a training camp. We're trying to, do this on the fly. You take pieces of, what was in place before, and you try to move the needle little by little, into a formation that you're comfortable with, and so we're still working on it. But I'd say the first month you're just trying to survive game to game. I remember the first 5 games were just bang, 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 bang. OKC, Denver, Golden State, Memphis, Dallas. They kept coming. The gauntlet kept coming.
You remember that stretch?
Oh, I remember that stretch. So you got to get a little bit of footing underneath you. You need some practice time. You got to figure this thing out together. But, I feel like we have found, we've made progress. We have built an identity to some degree, especially trying to move it defensively. That's the biggest challenge for us, and I think we've done that. The numbers have clearly shown it, that we've moved the needle there defensively. Offensively, I think was probably the thing that we found some flow and rhythm with early on, so that helped. But we're still working on it. It's still a work in progress, and I'll let you know when we get there. But, it's been great to coach this group. They're great. They've allowed me to coach them and push them, and they hold each other accountable. They show up every day to work, and there's a joy about it. There's a spirit about us, and, this group's in a healthy place. So we just got to finish strong, and it starts again tonight, trying to get a win and build good habits. Good? Thanks, everybody. Thank you.